Welcome back. The Odyssey to the Oscars continue here on the Thrift Store Rundown, bringing Hollywood home on a budget. I hope you're chowing down on some fava beans, liver, and a nice Chianti while making some gross-sucking sound effects because we have a Hannibal Lecter 3-tier for you tonight. The Silence of the Lambs, the classic among them all, Red Dragon, equally as acclaimed, and Hannibal Rising. The 1 out of 3 that is widely panned by critics and audiences. The Silence of the Lambs is the only horror/thriller movie to win Best Picture. And it's the only Best Picture winner I have in my library. Jodie Foster and Anthony Hopkins as Clarice Starling and Dr. Hannibal Lecter both won Oscars for their performances. Ted Talley won for Adapted Screenplay, and Jonathan Demme won for Directing. This film also received nominations for Film Editing and Sound Mixing. Red Dragon is directed by Brett Ratner. No Oscar nominations, but equally as acclaimed. And Hannibal Rising, well, I just hope it's not a totally cheap knockoff of the classic Thomas Harris material. Silence of the Lambs. Let's get started with this. I got it for $2.99 and for 50% off. Red Dragon I got for $2.49, and Hannibal Rising I got for 25% off the price of $2.99. This is the special edition, by the way. Anthony Hopkins and Jodie Foster deliver sensational Oscar-winning performances in this shockingly powerful thriller, says the New York Magazine. Stunning and spellbinding, this terrifying masterpiece garnered 5 Oscars, which I've already mentioned. The Los Angeles Times and Hollywood Reporter would definitely concur. A vicious psychopath is murdering women throughout the Midwest. Believing it takes one to know one, the FBI sends agent Clarice Starling to interview a prisoner who may provide clues to the killer's actions. That prisoner is Hannibal Lecter, a brilliant, demented cannibal, a horrible cannibal, hence the name Hannibal, who agrees to help Starling only if so feed his morbid curiosity with details of her own complicated life. But as their relationship develops, Starling is forced to confront not only her own hidden demons, but also an evil so powerful that she may not have the courage or strength to stop it. The special features here include a dazzling new high-definition transferred 5.1 surround stereo sound, a brand new Inside the Labyrinth documentary with all new interviews with the cast featuring Hopkins, Foster, and more. 20 minutes of deleted scenes, the original 1991 Making of featurette, a phone message from Anthony Hopkins, a never-before-seen outtake reel, a photo gallery, a collectible booklet, teasers, trailers, TV spots, and more. Rated R, closed captioned, running time, 1 hour and 58 minutes. The collectible booklet inside this case is reason enough to purchase this. That's creepy. And you know, if the DVD itself is creepy, then this horror film should be quite effective at scaring the creepers jeepers out of you. These moths were essential to the movie's cult following and success. In fact, they were given their own VIP treatment by the crew. And that's kind of scary to give these creepy moths their own VIP treatment. These are tobacco hornworm moths, and they were used throughout the film. Flown first class to the set of the special carrier, had special living quarters, rooms with controlled humidity and heat, and were dressed in carefully designed costumes, body shields bearing a painted skull, and crossbones. I'm afraid to even touch that. Thank God it's only a 1-disc DVD, so I don't have to take this out and sew the second disc. That is a tobacco hornworm moth. And I hate moths. I even hate butterflies, so this is definitely effective right from the get-go at scaring the crap out of you. Next up, Red Dragon, the Collector's Edition. For the first time ever, go beyond the film and take the journey inside the mind of Hannibal Lecter. This is going far more deeper into Hannibal Lecter's ways of torture and murder and his own personal life. It's brilliant and darkly seductive, says Richard Corliss of Time. The criminal profile of Hannibal Lecter, renowned profile John Douglas theories on how Hannibal Lecter and real serial killers are profiled. Nice, you get a real profiler to do a fictional character. The life history of Hannibal Lecter, a timeline from child to present day, his FBI case file, a profile on Anthony Hopkins as Hannibal Lecter, plus commentary from director Brett Ratner, writer Ted Talley, deleted scenes, DVD-ROM features, and more. After capturing Dr. Lecter, FBI agent Will Graham, played by Edward Norton, retires, only to be called back to active duty to hunt down an elusive killer, the Tooth Fairy, played by Ray Fiennes. Red Dragon is the electrifying, critically acclaimed movie that returns the series to the Silence of the Lambs form, says Jack Matthews of the New York Daily News. If a sequel is just as good as the original, it's doing something right. It's rated R for violence, grisly images, language, some nudity, and sexuality. Running time is 2 hours and 5 minutes. I haven't seen any of these films, by the way, so I can't really make a final fair judgment, but I definitely am psyched to see these two. I'm also psyched to see Hannibal Rising, even though this was critically panned, although not that much if you take a look at these two ratings. In Red Dragon, we learned who he was. In The Silence of the Lambs, we learned how he did it. Now comes the most chilling chapter in the saga of Hannibal Lecter, the one that answers the most elusive question of all. Why? Written by Thomas Harris, the best-selling author of the Hannibal book series, this fascinating and terrifying journey into the making of a monster reveals for the first time the metamorphosis of a brilliant medical student into Hannibal the Cannibal. Joel Siegel of Good Morning America says, if you can keep your eyes open, you're going to get scared. I find it odd that the man who wrote the screenplay is the one who... I find it odd that this film was the most panned out of all of the Hannibal Lecter films, and the guy who wrote the screenplay was the one who wrote the books in the first place. The special features include deleted scenes with optional commentary, a featurette called Hannibal Lecter, The Origin of Evil, commentary by director Peter Weber and producer Martha De Laurentiis, Designing Horror and Elegance, a featurette with production designer Alan Starsky, plus theatrical and teaser trailers. This is the unrated version. The running time is 131 minutes. I have not seen any of these films, but again, all three of them look so intriguing to me, and just in case anybody's curious, this is the Red Dragon pamphlet with Brett Ratner's production notes. I am giving all three of these movies 3 out of 5 claps, and that's a tentative judgment until I see either of these 3 films. So I think that's a fair ruling. And that's 60 out of 100 points. And you know the ideal meal to be eating while watching any of these films? I said it earlier! Liver, I just hope it's chicken liver, fava beans, and a nice Chianti. Okay, now I'm hungry. Not for human flesh, but I'm hungry. Thanks for watching the Thrift Store Rundown's Odyssey to the Oscars, making you hungry for some good old-fashioned horror and bringing Hollywood home on a budget.